to the coronavirus outbreak from the afternoon of March 31 to April 1, 2020. Note, this is a collaborative video made between Travel for All Fanpage and Knowledge of Coronavirus channel. Please respectfully welcome everyone. The following is the remarkable news most from afternoon March 31 to April 1 as follows. 1. U.S. President Donald Trump warned on March 31 that the next 2 weeks are a very difficult period in the fight against acute respiratory infection COVID-19 in the United States. Therefore, he recommends that the people of this country follow the regulations on social gap until the end of April. Even with blanket nationwide adoption of stringent mitigation efforts, between 100,000 and 240,000 Americans could face death in the coming weeks in a cascading nationwide ordeal. 2. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, said the World Health Organization, WHO, would provide US $900,000 in aid to support the efforts of the North to prevent outbreaks of acute respiratory tract infection COVID-19. So far, North Korea has reported no cases of SARS-CoV-2 infection. However, to prevent the epidemic from spreading, North Korea has stepped up measures to prevent epidemics, such as closing the border and tightening quarantine regulations. 3. On March 30, the Panama government announced new strict quarantine measures in an effort to slow the spread of SARS-CoV-2 virus. Under the new rules, starting April 1, men and women will only be allowed to leave their homes every 2 hours and on different days of the week. Specifically, men are allowed to go to the supermarket or pharmacy on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, while women are allowed on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. No one is allowed to go out on Sundays. New measures will be imposed in 15 days. Previously, Panama's quarantine regulations were not based on gender. 4. Italian carmaker Lamborghini has asked some parts at the Santiago Bolognese factory to switch to manufacturing medical masks and protective plastic shields. Lamborghini's medical products will be delivered to Centre Sole Malpighi Hospital in Bologna City, northeast Italy. The manufacturer expects to supply 1,000 masks and 200 protective plastic sheets daily. 5. According to Mexico's Deputy Health Minister Hugo López Gatell, a series of measures were taken immediately to prevent the spread of COVID-19, including the immediate suspension of unnecessary activities in the public sector and privately until April 30. Do not hold meetings or conferences of 50 or more people and strictly follow social separation measures. The number of positive cases of COVID-19 in the country increased to 1,094, including 28 deaths and 2,752 suspected cases. 6. In a statement, the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee of the Israeli National Assembly said that after lengthy discussions, the newly formed monitoring committee approved the decision to allow Shin Bet to support efforts to block the spread of SARS-CoV-2 virus for 1 month until April 30. With the support of the government, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu asked Shin Bet to collect the personal information of the people after claiming that he would use every possible means in the fight against the invisible enemy, COVID-19. In particular, the Shin Bet Homeland Security will collect personal mobile phone users' information so that Israeli authorities can conveniently cope with a disease that has infected more than 5,300 people in the country. 7. According to data from Worldometer's info, on March 31, the world recorded a sad record when there were 4,246 deaths from new strain of coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, causing acute respiratory infection, COVID-19. By the morning of April 1, the total number of deaths from COVID-19 epidemic worldwide was 42,014. This is a record number of deaths per day since the outbreak. 8. Italy also received an unforgettable memory on March 31 when the highest number of victims died of SARS-CoV-2 virus since the beginning of the outbreak, 837. Italy continues to be the country with the highest number of deaths from this disease in the world. The same day, the Italian Civil Protection Agency announced the country recorded an additional 4,053 cases positive for SARS-CoV 2 virus, bringing the total number of COVID-19 cases to 105,792 cases. In particular, the number of deaths was 12,428 cases, an increase of 837 cases. 9. Spain has announced an additional 849 new deaths from COVID-19 acute respiratory infections in the past 24 hours, a record high in the day since the pandemic broke out. Spanish Interior Minister Fernando Grande Marlaska said there were no problems with food supplies, so people did not need to stock up. In addition, he said the country has enough manpower to meet the needs of the people. 10. In the UK, the number of deaths in the last 24 hours from the COVID-19 epidemic increased by 27%, according to statistics released on March 31 that a senior UK cabinet member described as shocking and anxious. Accordingly, the UK recorded 381 deaths on March 30, the highest increase in the day since the outbreak, thereby raising the number of deaths in UK hospitals to 1,789 people. 11. In Canada, Head of Public Health Canada Theresa Tam said, as of 9 a.m. 31/3 Eastern Time in North America, the total number of cases diagnosed with SARS-CoV-2 virus in Canada in less than 1 day increased by 15% to 7,708 cases. A worrying sign is that the number of deaths from SARS-CoV-2 virus has increased by 35% to 89. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada announced that Ottawa will invest $2 billion $1.42 billion to support testing and purchase of ventilators and protective equipment such as masks, safety vests, clothes-fitting water bacteria to deal with disease outbreaks. 12. On March 31, Japan raised its travel alert to level 3 for about 50 countries around the world, including the US, China, and South Korea, and warned citizens not to visit these countries. Due to COVID-19 acute respiratory infections continue to spread. 13. The total number of COVID-19 cases in South Korea is 9,786 and the number of deaths is 162, after confirming 125 new infections and 4 deaths on March 30. President Moon Jae-in has asked the country's authorities to strictly enforce the regulations to handle cases of deliberate violations of quarantine orders. This order was issued by Moon Jae-in just 1 day before requiring 14-day mandatory isolation for all entry, without exception, to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Take effect from 0h on April 1. 14. In Indonesia, on March 31, President Joko Widodo announced a national emergency medical condition related to the COVID-19 acute respiratory infection and announced measures to support people with income. Short. Measures include increasing social welfare, food and food assistance and exemption or reduction of electricity prices. 15. On March 31, the National Health Commission of China (NHC) announced on March 31 no further cases of SARS-CoV-2 virus infection caused acute COVID-19 infection on mainland China, but 79 new cases are cases of entry, bringing the total number of COVID-19 cases that have entered China to 771 cases. Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our videos. Please subscribe Knowledge of Coronavirus channel at https://tenurl.com/s4gaps Knowledge of Coronavirus channel and Travel for All fan page respectfully and see you in the next video.